The story begins with a guy in a mask defeating a huge monster. A girl on the sidelines cheers for him. The guy's son Raku takes credit for getting rid of the monster and bringing back sunlight. The cheerful girl praises him for his tough journey. But then, unexpectedly, son Raku decides she should join the defeated Dark Lord. Shockingly, he kicks her in the face, calling her the real problem in this world. As the story goes on, we find out son Raku is actually playing a video game. He talks about winning and hating a gargoyle that was hard to beat. In this world, regular video games are old-fashioned, and people love VR games. Badly made games are called trash games, but some people, like Rakuro, proudly play them. He calls himself a trash game hunter and feels like he's serving a sentence. After playing, Rakuro talks to his kind of strange mom. She hears about a weird butterfly incident at school. At the same time, a mysterious girl wants to talk to Rakuro about video games, but gets interrupted by another student. In Mana's game store, she wants to attract more customers during the summer break. Rakuro's friend, Rai, comes looking for him. Mana says he's not there, and Rai, too shy to say why she's looking for him, stays hidden. Mana smartly talks about young love and spills the beans about Rakuro's love for a particular trash game called Faria Chronicle Online. The game is known for being badly made with weird attacks, lots of bugs, and being super hard. Some players get so mad they throw their headsets. Mana reveals a big secret about Faria Chronicle Online. Players have to wear shorts and a mask to face the final boss. Just then, Rakuro shows up, looking for more trash games. He proudly says he beat Faria Chronicle Online, which makes Rai act mysteriously and then disappear. Mana, surprised by Rakuro, listens as he calls the game a huge pile of garbage. He blames the female lead, Faya, for causing trouble in the game, like messing with villagers and the party. Rakuro's biggest complaint is that Faya always blames the final boss, even when it's not the boss's fault. Stuck with a frustrating problem, Rakuro hates the game's 3-hour autosave that keeps trapping him in annoying situations. Even though Rakuro is a die-hard fan of trash games, he can't deny the strange appeal of Faria. The more the game annoys players, the more determined they are to endure it, all for a fleeting 3 minutes of joy after beating the final boss. Rakuro thinks these moments help him understand his purpose on Earth. When he realizes this, Rai, the mysterious stalker, gives a creepy smile, making the situation even more mysterious. Now, Rakuro has to decide which trash game to play next, and he's thinking hard about it. But out of the blue, Mana suggests something unusual, taking a break from trash games for once. She thinks facing life's lows can make the highs even better. She introduces him to Shangri-La Frontier, a VR game with over 30 million players, and encourages Rakuro to try something for a broader audience. Rai's not-so-subtle wink adds intrigue, and Rakuro considers breaking from his usual gaming routine. Back home, Rakuro takes his gaming dedication to a new level by diving into the history of Shangri-La Frontier. The game holds a Guinness World Record for the most logins in less than a year. It's about a defunct space colony that creates a new society, with the player's character society thriving in a mix of medieval and futuristic elements. Rakuro finds this setting interesting. Unlike Faria's bad reputation, Shangri-La Frontier has tens of thousands of fans, overshadowing his few critics. Putting aside his gamer fuel, Rakuro decides to give Shangri-La Frontier a chance. The game, made by Utopia Entertainment Software and led by the expert programmer Tuio Tori, is known for its immersive VR systems. As Rakuro puts on his VR headset, he realizes it's been a while since he played something other than a trash game. The game starts, and Rakuro gets to create his character with lots of options. Choosing a twin-blade mercenary for versatility, Rakuro makes decisions about his character's origin. He learns about the benefits of luck in the Wanderer's category, affecting critical chance and item drop rate. Immersed in the customization process, Rakuro gets really excited, making strange noises and reminding himself to calm down. Moving away from the world of trash games, he appreciates the details of character design. The result is a unique appearance, a bit eccentric, but a departure from showing his real face. He clarifies that his goal isn't a half-naked furry look, but a strategic playstyle of skipping armor for better weapons. Surprisingly, the game lets him sell starter equipment during character creation, boosting his in-game wealth. Following the tradition of naming characters, Rakuro goes with Sanraku. Wearing a bird mask, he sits on his bed, ready to dive into the game. Skipping the prologue, he appears in the captivating world of Shangri-La Frontier, encountering a creature that looks like him. Impressed by the lifelike movements, he tests the controls with running and climbing, noting a huge improvement over the visually unappealing games he's used to. Amazed by the vast virtual world, Rakuro checks his map, wondering why he didn't start in the usual tutorial town. Unaware that wanderers like him start randomly in the beginner's area, he decides to head to the starting town, impressed by the responsive controls guiding his every move. Looking at his stats, he remembers he traded low defense for his half-naked appearance, hoping his high luck would make up for it. Suddenly, a goblin attacks. Refusing to act like a scared half-naked warrior, Rakuro battles the small foe, swiftly defeating it with a powerful attack. Though impressed with his new skills, he sees the goblin as a basic enemy. The battle ends with a level up, and Rakuro can now dual-wield the goblin's axe. Sensing movement in the nearby bushes, he thinks about the game's details, monster weaknesses, attack patterns, and potential item drops. Thinking about the thrill of exploring a new world, Rakuro faces the next opponent, a determined rabies-infected bunny. Avoiding a strong attack, Rakuro fights the persistent bunny, deflecting its attacks and countering with a critical hit. While not overly impressed with the game, he figures out the bunny was aiming for his neck, making it an easy counter. Although a bit disappointed at the lack of a rabbit sword as loot, he celebrates another level up. His stat screen shows a new skill, Flash Counter, acquired under specific conditions. Rakuro appreciates the game's design, realizing that player skill, combined with dodges and parries, lets him face higher-level enemies effectively. This makes him curious to try different fighting styles. Rakuro's joy deepens when he realizes he hasn't encountered a single bug, a big change from his previous experiences with hitbox bugs, clipping bugs, and the infamous invisibility bug. Bursting with excitement, he enjoys playing a bug-free game after a long break. Hunting for another rabies bunny, Rakuro briefly stops to defeat an ogre and level up again. Thinking about stat allocation, he hopes the rare world bunny spawns more frequently, as he's already beaten 50 of them to get his stylish dual swords. Now with new skills, Rakuro finds most of them worthwhile. Despite facing low-tier monsters, he decides to keep moving forward, knowing he won't gain more levels in the current area. Approaching the town of Suval, he finds a bridge blocked by a snake with ponytails. A real challenge and the area boss meant for a party. Reflecting on the snake's design, Rakuro believes that with a character that moves as he wants, he doesn't need strong defenses to beat the boss. Charging forward, he demands excitement from the game, visibly enjoying the experience. Meanwhile, at the exit of a nearby town, people are amazed by a figure in giant armor with high-level equipment and a clan achievement crest. Unaware that Rakuro uses the same name for all his characters, the townsfolk wonder about the identity of this powerful presence. In the real world, Rakuro's stalker intensifies her search for him in the game. Back in the virtual realm, Rakuro starts his attack on the serpent, admiring his flowing hair. Watching his predictable attacks, he skillfully dodges a few, confident that this beginner's boss has movements he can anticipate. The determined hero, with a pigeon-like visage, aims to defeat the snake without a scratch, underestimating the challenge. However, to his surprise, his weapon shatters on the first hit. Recognizing the snake's tough scales, Rakuro decides to use his blood blades instead. As he lunges for the attack, the serpent unexpectedly spews purple poison, catching him off guard. At first mistaking it for something unpleasant, Rakuro realizes it's poison, causing damage every 10 seconds. Undeterred, he declares that a bit of mess won't be his downfall, drawing inspiration from overcoming trash games with low-budget mechanics. Calculating the poison's timing, he estimates 4 minutes before potential defeat and recognizes the need for landing reliable critical hits. Analyzing the game mechanics, Rakuro figures out that critical hits aren't random but depend on attacking strategically or targeting an enemy's weak point. Unfortunately, the snake's elegant hair shields its head, complicating Rakuro's attempts to strike there. Adjusting his strategy, he decides to create his own weak point, using the screw-pierce move to penetrate the snake's body. Continuing his assault on the wounded area, Rakuro, the absolute god gamer, explains how the defensive properties of an injured section open the door to critical hits. The snake writhes in agony, its beautiful hair flowing dramatically. As the timer ticks down, Rakuro, uncertain of the snake's remaining HP, realizes that his arrogance from conquering trash games made him overly self-assured in this mass appeal game for casual players. Engulfed by the serpent, Rakuro uses his flash counter move, holding onto a lock of the snake's magnificent hair. A final piercing screw to its face triggers the explosion of the serpent's head, and Rakuro levels up. Happy with the loot, he notices his health continues to dwindle. Unable to allocate his attribute points in time, he invests everything in stamina and agility, planning to quickly fly back to town for an antidote. However, he soon realizes he doesn't know the town's layout, unable to set his respawn point, leaving him on a wild chase. Meanwhile, in the town, a guy named Yamamoto celebrates convincing Maya, the object of his affection, to join him in playing SFF. Their joy is interrupted by Rakuro's sudden entrance. Mistaken for a monster, Maya thinks about attacking him, but Yamamoto advises against it, worried about potential consequences. Thinking Rakuro might be affected by poisonous stuff, Yamamoto guides them to the inn. Racing against time, Rakuro skips the receptionist and goes straight to register his respawn point. Despite his efforts, the poison persists, and he succumbs to death. As Rakuro returns to reality, disappointment clouds his face, but relief washes over him when he realizes that none of his items were lost in the game. Grateful for the help, he mentally notes to thank the mysterious helper later, acknowledging the awesomeness of the SLF game. Back in Sandia, he looks for essentials like a map and recovery items. Thinking about getting a powerful main weapon, he becomes aware of some creepy people staring at his half-naked character. Choosing decency, he decides to buy clothes first and goes for the cheapest options to avoid strange looks. In a weird twist of logic, he finds his bird head less strange than a mask. Unimpressed with the weapons, Rakuro finds his bunny daggers are rare. Excited, the storekeeper offers to craft custom weapons with the right materials. Rakuro goes on a mining expedition, encountering an annoying frog, a bold amphibian, an unexpected adversary. Despite Ruro's initial hopes for peaceful coexistence, he sees the frog wants to be turned into valuable materials. Knowing the frog's resistance, he strategically attacks, overcoming the amphibian. Yet, even this victory doesn't lift Ruro's spirits. With more summer break players, Rakuro intensifies his material gathering. The shopkeeper, amazed by the ore, singles out an extraordinary piece. After a wait, Rakuro gets god-tier weapons, and the blacksmith emphasizes raising a weapon, upgrades for blacksmiths who see their creations as cherished. Dismissing warnings, Rakuro plans to test his new weapons against nocturnal threats. At the bridge, the serpent reappears, but Ray intervenes. Searching for Oro, Ray suspects he defeated the serpent on his way to the second dale. Elsewhere, Rakuro faces a golem, reflecting on lessons learned. Monster spawns vary with the time of day, with nocturnal creatures matching the weapon seller's description, aggressive and perilous. The golem proves formidable, with tricky movements and attacks surpassing goblins. When the goblin calls for backup, Rakuro considers retreat but rejects it, enjoying the game too much. Against the odds, he triumphs over the goblins. Reflecting on the thrill, Rakuro notes that god-tier games are enjoyable, but this virtual realm offers much more. In a pivotal moment, a colossal monster appears, revealing itself as a unique entity. Bracing for the true Shangri-La Frontier, Rakuro prepares for the most formidable battle of his gaming life. That's it from this video. I have recapped first 2 episodes of Shangri-La Frontier. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you want to watch more from this anime series, just let us know in the comments. I will see you in the next video.